Baby girl here. This cancer sucks. Motel room again. So now that my brain fluid has, I've had about 3 in the past 7 to 8 days. I can get into a warm bath and try to, like get the fluid from moving around, since it's like battery acid under my skin. It hurts my muscles. It hurts everything. And I'm still homeless. Because nobody has enforced the verbal or written contract, which since directly after he signed it and made the verbal contract with witnesses, we then were called in for a drug screen, and if those drug screens are in fact true, then he was of sound state of mind, since he's not crazy apparently, which Acadia said that I wasn't crazy, and I wasn't a danger to myself or others, but the Judge Statham is discrediting Wellsprings, Acadia, and Addiction Resource Center, which all stated that I didn't need anything but my medications, since I'm at the end of life of cancer, and my children and my life back. I've learned to live with cancer. I've learned not to fight it. Some things you do, but I've had terminal cancer since 2006 when I had a brain operation. I seem to be, and have so far the entire time, been fine. I just have pain. I'm sometimes a little slow remembering things, but that's about it. But my problem is, now I'm still homeless, right? Still awaiting. Over 16 months it's been. That's all I needed. He evicted me even after state police said that he couldn't. He's on tribal land. He's an imminent threat already. He had a violent crime on his record. He was given a chance. Didn't mean that he had to be my boyfriend. Nobody was forcing him to do that. His license was indefinitely suspended, but they had retethered and made it so his brain simulator, he wouldn't crash a car or anything like that. So he actually has not had a license. He's been driving illegally, had 2 OUIs, and Judge Statham still won't do a thing about it. John Havlin is still being charged and for his crimes. John Havlin and I seem to be taking the blame for everything. They have been trying to redo old reports. Yeah, so I'm just, Judge Statham made it clear that my life really doesn't matter, neither do my children's, when the DCF report was actually opened because my ex got arrested for domestic violence assault, and his hands are licensed, which, yes, it does make a difference. So it therefore made it domestic violence assault with a deadly weapon, which the whole point was to try to clear the names of the ones that weren't guilty of assaulting Quinn and I all the time. But they all stated that there wasn't more than one of them. So if that's also the case, then they have severe multiple personality and they're a severe danger, like, to the public. So yeah, basically, my uncle separated in 2015 for me after they tried to kill my son and I at the hospital. Placebo RhoGAM shot after a placenta eruption. They tried to put my son on another child's methadone prescription. I went home with a preemie because I didn't know I was pregnant until that morning. He voluntarily stayed in the NICU. I went home with Quinn, who was under 5 pounds, in under a week, which now they make you wait until the due date of if your child is born premature. So she was born August 8th. August 9th, 2018, I had a C-section of Quinn Phaneuf. I was told that it was twins and one of them had died. I didn't have a significant other that was involved in my care with me at all. They were involved with other people illegally making portals for me. They then took one of the children and abandoned it down in Portland, and that was where the hospital then judged me based upon the fact that I was like, I didn't know that my child lived. Like, that's a huge, huge deal for me. The fact that either way, he kidnapped 2 of my children at birth and gave them to other women and let them use my identity. I have been being blamed for them. It's not right. It's not fair. When we separated, it was under the order that because they wouldn't stop messing with me, they have held my father, my aunts and uncles for different land treaty acts. They have murdered off a lot of my cousins for another land treaty act, and it was coming again. So my uncle separated. We did it quietly. We did it in peace with the United States. And all these people are just causing all these issues. Now, if you have a violent crime or any sexual crime, or have furnishing a minor alcohol, not furnishing a place for minors to consume alcohol, then you are not to be allowed anywhere north of the islands of Old Town, Maine. Now, the island actually goes a lot south of Old Town. It's supposed to be a safe place for us. Yeah, because the West Branch of the Penobscot actually goes all the way to the Pacific. Even though it's breaking off, the plates are breaking off, which of course they're not, right? Because that's kind of what I was warning everybody about. So, right, they have to just pretend like that's not happening. They have to pretend like the COVID didn't happen. They have to pretend like the technological shit didn't happen, because that's all the reasons why I was told that I couldn't have my children and that I was in a meth psychosis. Now, methylphenidate is a prescription for Ritalin. I have severe low blood pressure, which causes my cancer to spread and causes brain hemorrhages. My body became accustomed in high school to before my brain surgery, which I just found out they lied to me about that too. I was at the end of life in high school, and I have learned to survive on my own with the way that I treat myself. Now, for these people to prevent me from taking care of myself, and I think, if I can do that, and you guys are still listening to these doctors and these nurses that aren't even certified, they just hacked everything and printed off fucking badges and shit, and they're killing people at these hospitals. And they're killing people of minorities. So, basically, you're on my reservation. The Maine State Police said you couldn't evict me from anywhere. But why don't I have a home? Why was there another Stevie McGrain on that police report that day? This isn't a false public alarm, and I don't know how me calling the police when it said he's not to return to Indian Territory, and he's on Indian Territory when I call the police. But that other recording does say that Betsy went to court for me that day, and I didn't forfeit any assets. And if Randy Day and Wayne Doan, I'm not allowed to fire them, and they don't appear, wouldn't it be they forfeit their assets? That's not my fault, right? If I'm not mentally capable to wipe my own ass that Randy and Wayne need to claim all my money, then that I can't even get food stamps, then which is it? Which is it? Because I should still have a home and have my children. Because you guys are giving cars and money and medications and all this stuff to these people that are on mental disability right now. So you swap my records with somebody who actually tried to kill me and gave that person my children. My parents have one of my children, are supposed to, my son's father, but legally I am supposed to have my children. I'm asking for help with that. Because, yeah, people just keep blowing up my fucking phone that I can't do anything.